Fellow Groggers, welcome back to Grog Games. Today I want to have a special conversation with you. Conversation about the definition of what a role-playing video game is. An explanation of 3 simple reasons of why a game is an RPG and why a game is not an RPG. Before we get to my explanation, I just want to see what a normal explanation is. So let's consult good old Wikipedia. So Wikipedia says a role-playing video game is a video game where the player controls the action of a character and or several party members immersed in a well-defined world. Okay, that makes sense, right? And then Wikipedia proceeds to tell us about different things like story and setting, explanation quests, items and inventory, blah blah blah. But what are we really looking for? What is Grog Games' 3 rules behind what an RPG video game really is? Okay, rule number 1. Regardless of your character being a blank slate, like character customization where you start from scratch, or an intended character, as in someone that's already been created, they're an actual person before you start the game itself, that character should go through some sort of growth or transformation throughout the video game itself. If they don't, it sort of defeats the purpose of entering a role, and therefore isn't necessarily, in our opinion at least anyway, a role-playing game. I mean, if there's no purpose to the game, there's no role to go through and transform, then why are we playing the game in the first place? The only loophole I can think of for this is maybe if someone else apart from your character transforms and changes throughout the game, then at least you're sort of in more of a supporting role, whereas even if you haven't changed, that doesn't mean that no one hasn't. At least there's some sort of transformation. Rule number 2. There should be a storyline of some sort. Honestly, simple. I'm not going to explain this that much. I mean, there has to be a story to an RPG game. But we're still mentioning it because it excludes some games automatically. For example, Baldi's Basics, which we played, I mean, there's no storyline in that, at least in comparison to other RPG games for sure. I mean, you can't compare Baldi's Basics collecting notebooks as a storyline compared to, say, Witcher 3. It's just not gonna happen. It's not the same. Last rule, rule 3. Now, this is an optional rule in our opinion. There has to be some sort of gear, item, power, or ability that helps you progress throughout the game. There are games like Legend of Zelda, where you need the Master Sword. Skyrim, where you need to use the Dragon Calling Shout. Then there's items on shelves, like in Shovel Knight with the Golden Glove, for example. Without these items, weapons, abilities, gear, whatnot, your character cannot progress through the story itself. And really, that makes it a key component of what makes an RPG game an RPG game. Why we set this as an optional rule is because there are some games where you are purposely left without those things, and that makes your character more vulnerable, which makes rule 1 even better, making your character develop faster. To reiterate, rule number 1, your character should show growth or change, or in the minimum, a supporting character should show growth and change. 2, there needs to be a storyline in the game itself, a purpose for playing the game, a role that you're actually taking. And 3, gear, equipment, powers, items, all of that good stuff, sort of a necessity and helps push your character past what they can be. So I hope you guys liked our really simple explanation. I know we could have gone way more in depth with it, but honestly, I think it's nice to keep things simple. Going forward in the future, we're probably going to play games that meet just this criteria, unless it's like a special occasion game like Spooktacular. That was a little bit different. I know some of those games didn't necessarily fit the rules, regulations. So guys, here at Grog Games, that is our definition for what an RPG video game actually is. I'd love to hear your guys' comments down below in regards to agreeing with these 3 rules, or if you just want to say hi. Alright, we'll see you next time, fellow Groggers. Keep on role-playing.